I believe it was Errol Flynn who used to say, "Welcome to Sherwood."
Yes.
Here we are. It's Litter Media Live on October 22nd of 2025. Welcome to our Sherwood. With Little John, I'm Robin Hood.
There was a Big John, too.
There was a Big John, yeah, but he was Little John. Thank you for joining us here today on this edition of Litter Media Live. I'm Dan Ramey. He is Mike Smith, a.k.a. Little John, and there's even tinier John right there.
Tiny Tim.
Aaron Glandon.
Tiny Tim. You look kind of short on camera there.
Yeah, he did a little bit, didn't he?
It's the headshot.
It's because I was leaning back.
Yeah.
All in his natural state. Good to have you with us here today. We've got a lot of things to cover, so including a new total for Dance for Kids' Sake. You heard us say $105,000 over the weekend. A few more dollars piled in. We'll share that information with you coming up here shortly. But first, let's look at this forecast. It's cloudy out right now, and it's windy, so it feels colder than it actually is.
And it's going to get colder for real. And yes, I did get the wife to unhook the water hose yesterday when she came home. Cool weather will settle across the region for the next few days. In fact, some wind through tonight. And frost will be limited tonight because of that breeze. However, Thursday night, winds will be lighter and frost is likely, with some places possibly seeing temperatures dip just below freezing. During the day, partly sunny skies through Friday with a high 55.
Just looked at my weather app. It says it's 50 degrees outside, but it feels like 37.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
Yes.
When I went out today, it was. I was glad I had a jacket on. Yeah.
Yes. I got to see the sunshine this morning. In fact, it was dark when I left the house, and it's been a while since that's been the case. And I got to see the sun coming up as I was heading to Zane Trace earlier today to perform with the FFA, our friends of the FFA at Zane Trace. We've been friends with them for,
Long time.
Yeah. Was it 2013 we received our honorary degrees in
Sounds
the FFA?
Right.
And these kids, were they born yet?
Some of them not. Yeah.
Yeah. So at any rate, it was good to be with the kids today, and we'll talk more about that on tomorrow's program. But first, let's tell you about our friends at Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. They've been around a lot longer than 2013. In fact, they're coming up on 50 years of serving Central and Southern Ohio. Your trusted comfort advisor. They wouldn't be trusted if they didn't do things right. AccurateHVAC.com is their website, but if you can't remember that, just click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website, littermedia.com, and it takes you right to Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
At Tomlinson Insurance, we've been protecting families, farms, and businesses since 1853. From auto, home, farm, life, or health, we tailor coverage that fits your world with multiple carriers to meet your insurance needs. Real people, real service, local agents who can answer the phone and care when it matters most. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call or stop by today.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary. Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old.
The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365 days a year. 988. Save the number. Save a life. To learn more about the Bean Foundation, click on this ad on littermedia.com.
You can follow along with what we have to share with you today on our website, littermedia.com, and also on our social media. We share a lot of things on Facebook and Twitter, aka X, and of course our YouTube channel, Spotify. All that information is available up in the upper right-hand corner at littermedia.com. Mike has the leading toke on today's stories.
Yes, sir. A marijuana town hall meeting will be held tomorrow. It's October 23rd at 6:30 p.m. at the Pickaway County Main Library in Circleville. Now, the public's invited to attend this free event. The purpose of it is to look at the potential development of a Circleville-based marijuana dispensary. Almost every community in the state of Ohio has done something like this to get a feel from the public as to what they want to see in their community. Because even though marijuana was legalized for recreational use, government entities do still have the authority that they can regulate it to some degree. So that's what this is all about tomorrow in Circleville.
The Fairfield County Foundation recently announced the recipients for their second and final grant cycle in 2025. The foundation awarded grants to 17 organizations totaling $194,202 at their recent board meeting. Cycle 2 grant criteria for 2026 is also listed within our story at littermedia.com.
Also on our website, you can find that Lancaster City Schools recently inducted 5 alumni into their Distinguished Alumni Hall of Fame. The members were honored at a ceremony back in September. They include James Wagonseller, the class of 1939, Ralph Smith, class of 1964, Paul Schulery, the class of 66, David Huggins, the class of 1966, and Brad Hutchinson, 1991. Now, if you go into our website story, you'll get the details of what these various distinguished alumni did to get this honor.
Yesterday, we showed you the cool boardwalk that floats out in Arc of Appalachia. But today, we're going to talk about Nature is Neat. It's their last opportunity for the program to be run this year. It's coming up Saturday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Appalachian Forest Museum. October's theme, Artists of the Forest, will celebrate the beauty in autumn with hikes, hands-on art activities, and creative projects inspired by the natural world. Local artists will be working with both inside the museum and along the trails, offering a chance to watch them in action, learn about their craft, and gather inspiration as well. Art kits will also be available for those who want to take their creativity outdoors as well. No experience is necessary, it's just a love for nature and imagination. This is on Cave Road in Bainbridge. Imagine it might be weather dependent. So, for instance, if you're going to be using some oils and things of that sort, you may not want to be out in the rain doing that along the trail, so to speak. Yeah. They have ways of doing that, and I've seen some of our local artists do that with umbrellas and everything else, and they just want to capture the scenery, and they do a fantastic job of it.
The Southwest Pickaway Fire District, along with Williamsport and Deer Creek EMS, will present a helipad dedication ceremony. That'll be coming up at 5 p.m. on October the 28th. Now, this will allow for medical evacuation choppers to more quickly get seriously injured patients to trauma centers, mostly in Central Ohio.
Are you in the mood, Mike?
Always.
The Glenn Miller Orchestra will be making its return to Waverly High School in the auditorium. That'll be November 9th at 3 p.m. All tickets are $30, no reserved seating. Tickets are available, though, by calling this number, 740-941-5836. You can also order them through the QR code that you see here. And folks down at Cheever Memorials and also Rent to Own helping to put this on. And again, if you've never heard the Glenn Miller Orchestra, you want to see them in person. They're world famous.
Now, they were there in Waverly last year or 2 years ago?
I can't remember if it was last year or the year before.
Yeah.
I know I went down and we did a little interview 2 years ago. I remember that with Zach Ross and some of the folks in the band to prepare for this event. So I think it's It's been 2 years ago, probably.
Gotcha. And you get something to say about Shine on Chillicothe?
Shine on Chillicothe is inviting you to gather for their beloved annual tree lighting ceremony. Now, it'll be a little bit different this year. They will have an artificial tree that they'll be lighting because they cut down the one that was dying, and the other one is just a little tiny mini tree right now. It's not grown up to be huge status. So they invite you to this coming up Friday, November 21st. It'll start at 6 p.m. right there at the south entrance to Yaktangi Park. The new community tree will glow with thousands of lights, each one a symbol of hope, unity, and the joy of the season. The event, of course, is free and open to all. And once the tree is lit, you can head down and see Santa Claus in the Yaktangi Park and walk through the park and see all the wonder and splendor that they have put together on Shine on Chillicothe. This is something they usually start putting together in October. They're already stretching cables and everything to make this all happen. So a lot of folks have been at thousands, hundreds of thousands, I think now. We can probably say that after the last few years of them doing this. So you'll certainly want to be there. Speaking of hundreds of thousands, Bowl for Kids Sake. Bowl for Kids Sake used to be the big fundraiser for Big Brothers Big Sisters of South Central Ohio. Now it is Dance for Kids Sake. We told you over the weekend $105,000 was raised. That was the total Saturday night, but more monies have come in. And now, drum roll please. Not very good. $115,031 raised this past weekend in Dance for Kids' Sake. So thanks to the dancers who put this on, not only them, but the people who come to raise the funds. I mean, they come from all kinds of backgrounds, and we appreciate that. Who's the benefactors? It's the kids. This is a mentoring agency for kids in elementary school age area where they really need a big brother or a big sister. And if you want to participate in the program at some point in time, give them a call at 740-773-24. I knew it as soon as it was one of the first things I ever remembered when I came here, and now I can't remember it. 773-2447, I believe is the phone number.
Let me just say,
I'll look it up.
In light of the mentorship, many of you folks know I've been mentoring guys that have come through addiction recovery. And one of the fellows that I had been working with, he heard me talking about Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and he said, and this is saying this as an adult looking back, he said, I wish I'd have had that when I was a teenager. Yeah. It would have made a big difference in my life.
I know in talking out of Zane Trace this morning, I talked to one of the kids who is a Big Brother high school-based Big Brother, and he said the same thing. We were talking about the difference that is made in the hearts of these kids, and it's just an hour of your time. Now, I've talked to a lot of bigs who have said, you know what, I can't just give him an hour. I enjoy being with this kid. I'll give him 3 or 4 hours. You know, we'll go to the movie. We'll go to an Ohio State game, you know, that kind of thing. 740-773-2447 is the number for Big Brothers, Big Sisters of South Central Ohio.
Road report. Earlier this morning, I had posted on our Litter Media X as well as Facebook that there had been a semi-tractor trailer crash at about 3 this morning on US 35, and what it did, the truck, there's an overpass that goes over like Kinnaman Road, Riley Lane in that area. Well, it went in the median and went down the hole. Oof. Well, it didn't block traffic on 35 except when I was coming in, they had one lane in the east and westbound lane closed because they were lifting, at that time, the trailer out of that hole. So that was about an hour ago. It's possible that they still are there, so just be careful when you're coming through that area to make sure you get to the far right so you're not in the way of that cleanup project.
All right. That's one rabbit hole you don't want to go down in.
Exactly.
Especially in a semi.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, a look at sports and this date in history. But first, let's tell you about the Skag clearance sale going on now at Hometown Motors Incorporated, 818 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe. We've got a wide selection of Skag mowing equipment at prices that are so low you'll think they've lost their minds. Come in and see if they still are going, and it's possible that Scott may be doing that. Once the clearance inventory is gone, so are the low prices with them. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Do yourself a favor and call Hometown Motors at 740-773-8826 or stop in. 818 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe. Hometown Motors Incorporated, your store for the great outdoors.
Mark came to the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc. Minimally invasive spinal surgery got him back to what matters most. At Adena, we do what we love, so you can too.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Each weekend this October, Sugarloaf Mountain Amphitheater transforms into Haunted Mountain. Try to find your way out of the escape room. Traverse the spine-chilling scares along our haunted trail. And each night at 7:15, the Mothman Experience begins on the main stage with It Flies by Night. Or bring a lawn chair and enjoy a free showing of our scary movie series on our giant projection screen in the parking lot. See our movie schedule and secure your spot for the Mothman Experience at hauntedmountain.org through Halloween night.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
Time for sports, and we start with our high school roundup. Of course, the game of the week with Litter Media Radio. Piketon at Huntington. Playoffs on the line for the Huntsmen. Now, they may still make it if they don't beat Piketon. So Piketon still has a stake in this, too. But I know the people in the township, they want to win out.
Yep.
They want to go into the playoffs with a roll.
As we were talking yesterday, a win is not a guarantee.
Right.
They could be, according to Joe Idle, you could be anywhere from 6 to out if you win.
Yeah.
But if you lose, you would be anywhere from 9th to out. It's not rocket science, folks. It'd be better if you win and see how that goes. Now, we dovetail into the OHSAA football computer rankings. Week 10 came out yesterday. As far as the highest ranking teams in our coverage area, Division 5, Region 19, Wheelersburg's number 1, Ironton is number 2. Now, we have some other area teams in that top 12, but you go down and you find that Eastern Pike in Region 28 of Division 7, they are number 2. So that's one of the highest rankings. And to Dan's point, Huntington, again, they're 12th, so they're on the bubble. They're right there. And a win would be very beneficial for the Huntsmen if they can pull it out. Taking a look at the Haynes Total Healthcare Center High School Tournament scoreboard. Volleyball last night. This is something I learned last night that kind of surprised me. Division III District Semi at Logan. Miami Trace swept Sheridan. This will be the first time that Miami Trace Volleyball has ever played for a district championship. That surprised me when I heard that. Now, because in Division III, there's not that many teams, they always do the same thing in basketball. The Southeast District and the East District come together for their district championship. Well, out of the East, it's Dover, and they're tough. They beat Tri-Valley in 4 sets, so Dover and Miami Trace will meet for that championship. Division 5 district semi-winners last night, New Lexington over Piketon in 3. Zane Trace swept North Adams. Division 6 semis, South Webster over West. Lynchburg Clay beat Fairfield. Division 7, it was Southern over Manchester, and Eastern Meigs over Trimble in 4. Boys High School Tournament Soccer, Division 3. Gallia Academy blank Warren 1-0. Jackson 3-1 over Fairfield Union. Division 4, it was Wheelersburg taking down Fairland 9-1. South Point edged Portsmouth 2-1. In girls soccer, double overtime, Bexley edged Bloom Carroll 1-0. Division 4 girls, Wheelersburg shuts out Circleville, but they call this in full time. If you have an 8-0 score, it's kind of like the continuous clock. You just stop it right there. And that's what happened last night. McLean edged Fairland 2-0. And in Division 5 girls soccer district semis, Fairbanks over Liberty Union 3-1.
Soccer's been around for quite a few years in the high school level, but we're still learning things about it.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. And I think that's a rule that came in maybe several years back. It wasn't there all the time. So.
Yeah, because you reach one point where you're not going to come back.
Yeah.
It's quite unfortunate, but it does happen. All right, Columbus Blue Jackets were winners last night, skated down in Dallas, and they had things pretty well in hand early in the third period, I should say. And then they got an empty netter to just bounce it right up there. And I think they should probably do the same thing in hockey that we were talking about with soccer, because getting 4 goals in 5 minutes is not something that happens a lot.
You see the little quote there on the Blue Jackets reference? Ohio beats Texas again. The Buckeyes beat Texas.
Yes. By the way, they'll be in action Friday night as they host the Washington Capitals. So that kid Ovechkin will be coming back again. He's not so much a kid anymore. He's an older guy. And Cleveland Cavaliers open their season tonight in New York with the New York Knicks.
In the Big Apple, Madison Square Garden.
Imagine that. If you're a rookie and you're getting your first start or your first experience in the NBA, and it's at Madison Square Garden.
The big palace, yeah.
Is that where Billy Graham had that 16-week crusade?
I believe, well,
I can't remember if
was it the old Madison Square Garden or the new Madison Square Garden?
I don't remember. It was in the 60s, and I don't know how long the new Madison Square Garden.
I think the new Madison Square Garden was built in either the mid or late 60s, so I'm not sure whether it was the old or new garden. So.
Yeah. Maybe they didn't have many events booked, but to be able to hold a 4-month-long crusade.
Well, he was also at Yankee Stadium on another occasion, so maybe that was where they were. So.
All right, this date in history, we're going to harken back to
1962.
And I'm thinking to myself, was I alive when this happened? No, I don't think. Yes, I would have. I would have been just a few weeks old.
Yeah. And like many folks in the armed forces, my dad got the call up for this one. That's coming up here in just a moment.
Details on the way.
Litter Quality Propane, online propane monitoring and reporting. Know your home's consumption and gas remaining in the tank. Find out more at litterpropane.com.
The Pike County Career and Technology Center provides hands-on, skilled trades training with engaging curriculums and endless possibilities. From automotive technology, carpentry, business management, to culinary arts and interactive media. From electricity, welding, HVAC, engineering, and medical technology to pre-nursing, basic food service, and public safety. We're preparing our youth for America's workforce through today's technology. To learn more about Pike County CTC, visit pikectc.org.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it. Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit dixiechopper.com.
Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Intermedia Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Intermedia Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. This date in history, 1962.
On this date.
By the way, the image today is a false image. I was going to put this because there was no launching.
That's true. Thank God. And on this date, in a television speech to the nation, President John F. Kennedy announces that U.S. spy planes have discovered Soviet missile bases in Cuba. These missile sites, under construction but nearing completion, house medium-range missiles capable of striking a number of major cities in the U.S., including Washington, D.C. A naval quarantine of Cuba followed suit. 6 days later, on the 28th, the premier of the Soviet Union, Mr. Khrushchev, backed down. They agreed to take the missiles out. Now you say, well, how did your dad get involved with that? Well, he was in the United States Air Force Reserves, and he got the call up, literally the call up. They were sworn in at 3 a.m. in Wilmington, Ohio at the Clinton County Air Force Base because they were going to Florida to mount an invasion. So that hit a little bit close to home. I was only about 3 years old at the time. Didn't remember it at all, but Dad told the stories later on.
Now, this was 1962, which is the year I was born. So I was not quite 4 weeks old at the time. And then about 4 or 5 weeks later, wasn't that when JFK was assassinated?
Well, he was assassinated in 63.
63, okay.
November
so a
63.
year and some later.
Yeah.
But there's still been a lot of question about Cuba, and if you watch JFK, if you watch all the things behind it, there's all kinds of still answers that aren't there, I guess is one way of saying it.
Do you remember about a month ago we were talking about a story, it was either 1960 or 61, I think it was 60, where Premier Khrushchev was in the United States on a tour and they wouldn't let him into Disneyland?
Yes.
I think the Cuban Missile Crisis was because he was still ticked off about that.
You think that's the case?
No. But wouldn't that be wild?
But
Keep me at a Disneyland, huh?
These were never launched. They were almost close to being able to be prepared to launch, right?
Yes. Yeah, they were working on them to activate them. Mm-hmm. And as a lot of stuff comes out after 50 years, U.S. law, for the most part, allows Freedom of Information Act if you request it. Not everything comes out, but a lot of it does. And they found out that Khrushchev was being pushed by Castro to let them launch these missiles on the United States. He was nuts. I mean, that would have been World War III right there.
All because he couldn't play baseball here.
He didn't. He got cut when he was trying out for the Boston Red Sox, yeah.
We're making light of it.
Story.
That's not the exact case, but
well, he did try out for the Red Sox.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we're not trying to. We're not literally saying that's the reason why. Just like Khrushchev not getting to go to Disney World.
Just maybe.
Or Disneyland back then.
Just maybe, yeah.
Open to speculation, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for the program today. We are back at it again tomorrow. I don't think we have a special edition at all this week, do we?
No, but we do have Petland Pet of the Week.
Yes.
Yeah.
So get your pet nominations in to us. Send those to littermedia@gmail.com. Same for the Player of the Week. However, I think we might
We got a lead on that one. It's a pretty
Yeah.
good lead, yeah.
And not only that, but there was a couple of big things that happened over the weekend. So, all right. That's it for the program. We'll see you tomorrow with another edition of Litter Media Live.